About a week ago, I uploaded a video on the mystery of the Golden Skull, which is a quest reward you get from a secret sort of Easter egg treasure hunt you can do in DMZ, where you follow a load of different steps and it ends with you getting this special Golden Skull. It's not like all of the others. It's got unique text attached, it's got glyphs on it, and it says something about our Bagra miner. Since then, I've had loads of comments and suggestions of people saying, oh, there's something in our Bagra Underground, there's a secret chest in the water there's some switches to interact with and stuff like that, but no one knew what it was about. Well, now me and Scotto and Greg FPS have solved this mystery, we've completely completed this, we've opened up that chest, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing and exactly what you get from it. So first of all, this is all part of the last mission for tier 4 for Black Moo or Black Mouse, however you say it, and it's called Breaking and Entering, and it asks you to travel to the sewer under our Bagra Fortress, and then you have to interact with different security devices in under 4 minutes to unlock the system architecture's container, and then loot and extract the system architecture documentation. Before you do this mission, you're going to need the key for our Bagra Underground. It's one of those special ones because it's a denied area, so you can sometimes buy it at a buy station. If you don't have it, just keep checking buy stations and eventually, hopefully, you'll find one. It'll cost $30,000, so you need to save up a little bit of money to buy it. Thankfully for me, I had Greg FPS who already had one in his inventory, so he just dropped it for me and we could open it that way. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, our Bagra Fortress is right at the south of the map, so if you spawn at the north side of the map, which we seem to nearly every game, you can just find a boat and take the river down there. That's by far the safest and easiest way to get down. Once you get to the island, you want to go to the south coast of it, kind of in the middle, and there you'll see the entrance to the tunnel for our Bagra Underground. Since we've only done this once, we're not 100% sure on how it works with the timer, whether that's 4 minutes from when you open this gate, or whether it's 4 minutes from when you interact with the first device, but it is plenty of time, so you shouldn't be too worried. I would say try to do this in a trio. As with everything in DMZ, it makes it much easier because there are a bunch of enemies in here, there's loads of armored enemies, they're quite tough, and it sets off a big alarm when you go in there because there's a denied area, which means more enemies will start flooding in and other players will know that you're doing this. There is plenty of loot about. I had a look and found some kill streaks and things like that, but remember you are on a 4-minute timer, so you don't want to waste too much time. I would say at the very beginning, don't split up too much because there's a lot of AI, a lot of shield AI and people like that are quite hard to deal with, so if you stick together you should be able to clear them out fairly quickly. And once you've cleared out the first sort of set of enemies inside there, then you should be free to start hitting the switches. The switches in this are super sneaky because they don't have an interact prompt, they're not obvious, they don't have that kind of white outline or anything. Instead, they just look like kind of electrical junction boxes on the wall. So you can see one here that's been pinged, that one's already been interacted with. You're looking for 7 of those. I'm not sure if they always spawn in exactly the same place, I'm guessing they probably do, but please do let me know in the comments if you find them somewhere else. So there's 7 of these boxes dotted around, and when you find them, even though there's no interact prompt, you can walk up to them and hit that interact button, and then you'll see your little bit of progress on the mission on the right hand side. Now obviously you've got 4 minutes to do this, which sounds like an incredibly long time, and it is pretty generous, but this is quite a big area and there will still be more and more enemies spawning in. So just keep on having a look around. Most of them are kind of obvious because they're all just on the wall. They're in all of the different tunnels and all of the different rooms. So there's one just up here. And bear in mind that while you're doing all of this, there could be enemies coming over. We saw there that there was a UAV that had been triggered at the top, so we thought maybe there's going to be enemies popping about. And try to make sure you don't get killed, because while you're on a timer, you don't want to have your friends rezzing you. Now, frustratingly, there's no kind of indication once you've hit a switch that that one has been done. So try to keep communicating with your team that you're doing all of them. That one weirdly did have a little prompt show up, but I think it was telling me to press A, which is the jump button, which was weird. Now, I came around here and saw an AI. I was using a shotgun so I could clear out the AI fairly quickly. That one didn't count. I'm not sure if it had already been done. Killed that AI really quickly. Then I thought this was AI, and it was not, as you can probably tell. That was a player. So I got killed here just underneath the last switch. My teammates had managed to get all of the other switches. I'd got a handful of them, and then a player had killed me right underneath the last switch. Thankfully, Scotto and Greg know what they're doing, so they could come in here and take care of those enemies and then go hit that last switch before the timer ran out. Unlike a lot of the other objectives, it doesn't show a timer on screen, so we have no idea how much time we have left. But once you've hit all 7, you'll see on the right that it will say that objective is completed, that mission is completed, and then you can go to unlock the secret chest. The secret chest is in the center room, so just under the water. You can see it's highlighted there. It was highlighted for us kind of straight away, and it just shows up as a normal supply box, which is a little bit strange. It doesn't have anything fancy about it. I saw other people saying there's red lights on it, but I think there's red lights on all the chests. You just can't always see them. But when you open it up, we just got a gun, a durable gas mask, and we got the system architecture documentation, which is obviously the key item that you need to exfil with. You can interact with it to read it, and it just says Alcatraz system architecture documentation. The documents contain this folder detail the architecture for utility, security and communications of Alcatraz community systems. The pages look like they were printed by someone in a hurry, as some have smeared printer ink and most are crumpled, as if they were jammed into the folder in a panic. So unfortunately, nothing super interesting to do with lore, and more importantly, nothing really to do with that skull at all. So thank you so much to everyone who pointed out that this chest was there, because the first time we looked in here, we didn't get this chest to spawn, and I'd never seen the switches that you can interact with or anything like that. So thank you so much to everyone who commented that that could be something to do with it. But sadly, it turns out it's absolutely nothing to do with the skull. So where we stand at the moment with the skull quest is, as far as we know, we've finished it. As far as we know, it's done. It does say Bagra Minor in the little description for the skull, and that still makes me think it's the little island off to the kind of northwest of Bagra Fortress. That's kind of where I think we're meant to be doing something with it, but I've looked all over that island, I've looked in the sea all the way around it, I've put the skull down on that island, and I haven't had any luck at all. So if someone else has any good ideas about that, let me know. Of course, it's possible that this will carry on in a future update, that we'll find out more about the skull in the future. Maybe it'll come into one of the other missions. We've just unlocked what we think are the last missions for Black Moo. We've unlocked tier 5. It was completing this quest that unlocked those for us, and they have some absolutely crazy challenges. Like, one of them is to use a sniper rifle with that scope you can only get with Abundant Store that has the bullet drop thing. You have to kill 31 operators from 200 meters or further away. That's a pretty crazy challenge, and the others aren't quite that bad, but they're all pretty rough. It might be that the skull is somehow linked to a tier 5 White Lotus challenge, because as far as I know, no one can get that yet because it's bugged. Or maybe it's something to do with Legion, or maybe there's even something past tier 5, and we'll find that all of these kind of hidden quests are somehow connected to that. Who knows? But if you have any ideas, please don't forget to let me know in the comments. It really does help me out a bunch. And of course, if you found this video interesting, if you like all of this kind of stuff, don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe, turn your notifications on. And finally, a massive thank you to everyone who has joined me, become a member of the channel. Lots of people now have joined the elite membership tier. We've actually got some proper credits now, so thank you to these people for supporting me making content.